I get this view from people very often that I am biased. So, for instance, I have somebody from India, somebody from abroad. So one person says, "I think you were not impartial," which means you are partial, you are biased. And the other comment also says that why do you appear to offer no criticism to the Russians? You also speak much about Western propaganda, but not Russian propaganda. Why the bias? So I have never said I am not biased. Let's talk about Western propaganda and unbiased reporting and all that. I mean, what is the CNN? What is the BBC? Are these impartial, fair, objective news outlets? The BBC is the propaganda arm of the UK government. The CNN, the New York Times, the Washington Post, and so on and so forth, they are all propaganda arms of their government. That's how it goes. So they are all biased. So why should I not be biased? I am also biased. I say this openly. I am biased. I am motivated by self interest, by my national interest. That is the prism through which I view the world. And make no mistake about it, I am biased. I am not impartial. I am biased towards India. I do not talk about the Western perspective or the Russian perspective. I don't speak about the Western interest or the Russian interest or the Chinese interest or the Pakistani interest. I speak about the Indian interest. That is the name of this podcast. So I am biased. I will say this openly. You don't like it? That's fine. And why don't I criticize the Russians? Please answer this. What has Russia done to me? Did Russia colonize my land? Did Russia enslave my people for centuries? Did Russia steal, plunder $50 trillion worth of my ancestors' treasure? Did Russia do any of that to me, to my people, to my land, to my country, to my civilization? Did Russia finance decades of Pakistani terrorism in my country? My viewers ask me about this movie, The Kashmir Files, which depicts the genocide and ethnic cleansing of Hindus from Kashmir done by Pakistan. Who financed this operation? Was it Russia that financed Pakistan all this time while they were doing all these horrible atrocities? No, the Russians did none of that. It is the West that did that. It is English speaking countries that did all these horrific atrocities on my land, on my people. So why should I criticize the Russians? What have they done to me? They have done nothing of this sort to me. So it's like asking Native Americans that why are you so biased against the people who enslaved you and killed 100 million of your people? Why are you so biased? Can't you be fair and impartial? It's like asking the African Americans, why are you so biased against the people who enslaved you for centuries and deprived you of even the basic human dignity? Why can't you be fair and impartial? I just don't understand this. Why do you expect the Native Americans to be fair and impartial and unbiased when it comes to the people who oppressed them, conducted the genocide, stole their land? And the same goes for African Americans, right? So, that's the sanctimonious nature of the comments that I get from people from the West, right? Like the thing is, they have a monopoly over the truth. Monopolies are bad. You may have heard of this very famous lawsuit in the United States, the United States versus Microsoft Corporation. It was in 1998, and the US government accused Microsoft of illegally maintaining a monopoly on the PC market, right? And they said that Microsoft's actions constituted unlawful monopolization of the market, and the US judiciary agreed with them. So monopolies are bad. That's what the US government says. The problem is that today you have a monopoly, global monopoly. 10% of the world dictates and lies to the 90%, or to the remaining 90% of humanity. There is a monopoly over the so-called truth. The West holds it. They have a monopoly over the social media, over the English speaking media, and that's what Indians consume. So isn't that unfair? Right? So the thing is, they lie all the time. Maybe there are one or two Russian propaganda outlets, but there are 10,000 Western propaganda outlets that are lying all the time. So why does the West have this monopoly overlying? And why is do they only have the right to be biased and partial? Why is there an obligation for me to be unbiased and impartial? So that's not how it's going to be. I am going to present whatever I talk about from the prism of the Indian national interest, from India's self interest perspective. It's not going to be fair and impartial. It's going to be biased. I'm biased towards my people and my country. So I make no apologies for that. And if you don't like what I am doing here, well, cope.